You're explaining something. You know the word in your first language. Your brain is searching for it in English. 3 seconds pass, 5. You give up and say something simpler. The other person nods, but you can see it. They were waiting for more. Most people think this is a vocabulary problem. It's not. It's a speed problem. Your brain has the word, it just can't find it fast enough under pressure. Those are two completely different problems, and they have two completely different fixes. I'm going to show you exactly why your brain slows down like this, and one method that trains faster word retrieval. This method takes less than 10 minutes a day, and it has nothing to do with flashcards. Hey, my name is Becca, and I help English learners improve their English speaking skills without living abroad, memorizing grammar rules, or taking expensive classes. Let me ask you something first. Think of a word you already know in English, something like exhausted or generous. If I put that word in a sentence right now, could you understand it? Probably yes, without even thinking twice. Now, could you use that same word in a live conversation, under pressure, without stopping to think? That second one is harder, and that gap between understanding a word and being able to say it fast is where most learners get stuck. Here is how I want you to think about it. Imagine all the English words you know are stored in a big library inside your head. When you read or listen, finding a word is like walking calmly through the library and picking a book off the shelf. You take your time. Nobody is waiting. You find what you need. But speaking is completely different. Speaking is like someone standing outside the library door calling out, "Quick, send me that book right now." You have about 3 seconds. You're running around inside, you can't find it. You come back to the door with nothing. That is what freezing feels like. The word is inside the library. Your brain just could not get to it in time. And here's the mistake almost every learner makes after that happens. They think the answer is more vocabulary. So they go download a new app, they make more flashcards, they review word lists for an hour and feel productive. Then the next day, a real conversation happens and they freeze again. Why? Because they kept filling the library. They never practiced how to get to the door faster. So what actually helps? I want to give you a system. I call it the word rescue system. And before you think this is about memorizing more words or doing some complicated exercise, listen, this is a 3-step approach you can use during a conversation right in the moment when a word goes missing. Step 1, Step 2, Step 3. Let me show you how each one works. Actually, before I do that, one quick thing. If you want a full structured plan to practice everything in this video, I have a free resource called the 7-Day Fluency Switch Challenge. Every day for 7 days, you do one 30-minute exercise completely alone, no speaking partner needed. On day 7, you record yourself and compare it to day 1. That recording is your proof. The link is right there in the description. Grab it and come back. Okay, let's get back to the 3 steps. Step 1. Use a simpler word. When the exact word disappears, your brain almost always has a simpler version somewhere nearby. Use it and quickly move on. Here's a quick example. Say you want to describe a person and the word stubborn is gone. Instead of freezing and going quiet, you can say something like, "He never changes his mind," or "He never listens to advice." The idea lands, the conversation keeps moving. Now here's a question for you. If you heard a fluent speaker say, "He never changes his mind," in a conversation, would you think they had bad English? Would you even notice? Probably not. So why do you hold yourself to a standard that even fluent English speakers don't meet every time? Step 2, describe the word. This one will help you more than you think. When the exact word is gone, describe what it means, what it does, or what it looks like. Let me give you the most basic example. For instance, you forget the word umbrella. Most English learners do this. They stop, look uncomfortable, try to force the word out. The silence gets longer, they get more nervous, and by that point, the whole moment feels like a disaster. Here's what you do instead. You say something like, "The thing you hold over your head when it rains." And almost always the other person will say, "Oh, umbrella?" And you keep going. Congratulations, you just learned a word in a conversation, and I promise you, you will never forget that word ever again. Step 3, bridge, and keep talking. This one is about training yourself to stop treating a missing word like a stop sign. Here is what happens when most learners forget a word. They stop completely, they wait, they hope the word will come back on its own, or they give up on the whole sentence. Here is what fluent English speakers actually do. They treat a missing word like a speed bump. They keep moving forward with a simple phrase, something like, "What's the word for?" or "How do I say this?" or "You know when something is," and then they describe it and carry on. You are allowed to do that. Native English speakers do it every single day. Let's put all 3 steps together with one example. Imagine someone asks you to describe a colleague and you want to say she is ambitious, but the word is completely gone. Before you practice the word rescue system, you would stop and say something like, "She is, The silence grows, you feel embarrassed, the conversation stalls. After you practice the word rescue system, you would say something like, "She really wants to succeed. She works harder than everyone in the office and always looks for new opportunities." The other person knows exactly who you're talking about. The conversation moves forward. That is the word rescue system. Say what you can say, not what you forgot. Now, some of you might be thinking, okay, but if I always use simpler words, will I ever actually learn the harder ones? That's a fair question, and research actually gives a very clear answer. Studies on second language learning show that when you try to retrieve a word, even when you struggle to find it, your brain remembers it better the next time. This is called retrieval practice, and it turns out that struggling to find a word and working around it is actually one of the most effective ways to make that word stick later. So every time you use the word rescue system, every time you reach for a simpler word or describe what you mean, you're also training your brain to retrieve the right word faster next time. You're not avoiding the hard word. You're actually helping your brain store it more deeply. Language researchers have also found that non-native speakers often freeze, not because they don't know the word or they forgot the word, but because the brain is working hard to manage 2 languages at the same time. Finding the English word while trying to suppress the translation from your first language is a lot of mental work happening all at once. When you stop fighting that process and just say what you can say, that mental pressure drops. And when the pressure drops, the words actually start coming back faster. You're not training yourself to be lazy, you're training yourself to be fluent. So here's what I want you to do before you forget this video even exists. This week, find one realistic conversation, a call, a voice message, a quick chat with someone at work, anything. When a word disappears, do not freeze, do not go quiet. Use one of the 3 moves. Use a simpler word, a description, or a bridge phrase. Then notice what happens. Did the conversation keep moving? Did the other person understand you? In most cases, yes. So a simple motto to live by. Say what you can say, not what you forgot. Okay, before we end this video, if you want a structured plan to practice your English fluency every day for the next 7 days, the 7-Day Fluency Switch Challenge is in the description. 7 days, 30 minutes each. By day 7, you'll hear the difference in your own voice. And if this helped you, share it with one person you know who also forgets words when they speak. That's the best thing you can do for this channel.